Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis, your co host for the Pagan World Congress. And I hope that you've been enjoying the Congress. I know that I have. And on behalf of Reverend Mary Hawk and myself, I want to thank you for your involvement with it. I want to thank all of our speakers. I want to thank all of our attendees. I want to thank Ed the Pagan Hubbard for his hard work in architecture and engineering of the site and the event. And I have enjoyed this weekend tremendously. And um, it is always interesting to come to the last day of a great event. It has been exciting, um, exhilarating, inspiring, exhausting, all of these things. And I hope that you have found it rewarding. We have had speakers on all kinds of different subjects, approaching them from all kinds of different levels to help us to identify our common issues and perhaps lay out some common actions. I hope that you have found those things that resonate with your heart to help us to go forward into the future. That has been our goal in gathering this weekend. So, again, we thank you. We rejoice in your presence. And we know that the future is in good hands. With that, I will hand you off to our final speaker, Ed the Pagan Hubbard.
Well, I thank everybody for allowing me this opportunity to present a lot of ideals in the form of architecture and process. After all, it isn't just important that process is there, that we were able to do so. It is not enough that we just spend words. We need to begin our process of moving forward by taking action. The Pagan World Congress is the brainchild of Reverend Don, thank you, and Reverend Mary, and myself coming out of the Parliament of World Religions in 2023. We've had it listed for over 2 years, and it is interesting that the architecture of it was very simple, but it was very expansive. And I want to thank the 100,000 views we've gotten so far, and that'll grow. We've gotten more than 100,000 views across all of the 37 different workshops we've done. And they're going to continue to be available at the Pagan World site. In fact, let me go ahead and talk about the future. We're asking for common issues and common ground, but we need a common conversation place. And we are looking at decentralized areas and helping you in your local area on your national and regional goals by letting you find resources. So as we move forward, it is going to be about resources. What do I mean by resources? When people hear that, they're always talking about cash. And you know, we've talked about that. And we had Papa G talk about pagan poverty and how to break it. So resources aren't just about cash. It is about everything that you bring in. When you bring in a potluck dish, that's a resource. And everything that we bring in is a resource. So we want to make more resources available and begin growing. And there's a lot of different ways we're growing. One of the common things I've taken over the last year and will continue is Gaia Thrift, or the idea of creating these models of creating sustainable businesses. So that was one way. But in this today, we heard mostly, one of the biggest things on reflection I heard was the need for child education and improvement in our education systems. Everybody feels that is a crucial part. We had 3 presentations on it. We've had and other people talking about it. So we do know that. And we have heard Phyllis Carrot, and that was Christine Black and so many others. And then we heard from Phyllis Carrot, and she gave out a very poignant speech of why we should take action. And we heard from Dr. Tristan, South Africa, Damon Left, talking about their issues and situations. In reflection, they're having a deep time with that else. We've heard from the Philippines, Orlando, and about the peace movements and the need for peace movement and indigenous faith. So we see this as a worldwide thing. We've heard about from disability. We've heard about all the different things that we can do. And instead of trying to build one major organization moving forward, we can't do that. We're too diverse. And that also doesn't make resources available. I am going to say this right now. The Pagan World platform is going to be about providing resources to local environments. I want to mention Byron Ballard, who has been such a mentor to me. We talk about elders and people, a mentor to me, that she helped me within these last 5 years look from the national organization, the fact that we can put on a global event, the fact that I've been around the world, the fact that I've been so many places and looking to solve problems on a macro scale. She's pointed out that we need to start looking at local circles. Think metaphysically, think globally, but act locally. And this talks about the same thing. So how are we going to go forward? Is we need places where you can get resources, volunteers, and ways to build your community. And how do you build your local community? Well, that's going to be dependent on who's involved and how you do it. But what about learning how to do better with them? That's one of the things we want to encourage. This platform, we can duplicate events like this all the time. So if you have events that you want to do, if you want to talk to the world, if you want to broadcast, we need to kill up those lines of communication. And we need to do it on a local basis, and we need to do it on a national basis and international basis. Now, I want to tell you right now, one of the things I'm hoping to come out of it, and I still believe this is true, so Lady Celine Fox joined Reverend Phoenix William and Reverend Don and Reverend Mary on the opening day with the introduction, the benediction. And one of the things I saw there was the idea of that we need to be supportive. There are two things I think we need to be supportive of now in our organization is Wild Hunt. Wild Hunt has become an amazing resource. I've not always been a fan of theirs, as people know, but I am now definitely in their camp of doing a good job continuing to report this material. If you haven't gone to it, wildhunt.org and the Lady Liberty League. We need to do and make sure that they're financed and get the resources that they need to continue their fight. And everybody says, oh, the ACLU can take care of it and everything else. No, we need to build our own organizations that can help. And also in the local basis. We're going to hear about that. So how do we help you on a local basis? It's one thing to say you need a food pantry. It's another thing to say that you need all this stuff, but how do you get there? And as we move into the future, we need to go ahead and get those people who have done these things in contact with people who want to do them. Don't doubt the operation of Generation Z, who just in Madagascar, for the second time in several weeks, have overthrown a government. The Madagascar president has fled the country, and Generation Z, the youngest generation that is coming of age, has driven out that government. So we still are looking at our own Generation Z. What can they do? And a lot of things are different happening, but the only way that we can function is that we need local places. Over the last couple of weeks, I'm the question man. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been asking very pertinent questions across hundreds of groups. And the questions I've been asking is, what do we need in our community? What about leadership? What about it? And the number one thing people want locally is a place to hang out, a place to establish themselves that isn't a metaphysical store, nothing against metaphysical stores, but something that is private to themselves. Like Christian Science reading rooms is a good example, or different spaces. And this has been a goal for us for a very long time. How do we move forward? Well, we need to set up resources. I learned this from a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Lunar, who's about financial trust. If you can't get the financial trust of your community, if you can't manage your money well, if you can't do things well, you can't have things over the long term. How do we do that? Well, that's a local thing. We're going to have to find ways to do better. And the way we can do better is by sharing ideas, philosophies, resources, software, and different ideas. So the Pagan World platform that we have been on does so. Anyone who's a participant who paid $25 to kind of be part of this, you're going to continue to have that. We're going to continue to build on it. You're going to have continue to access to tools. We're going to make a lot more tools available to people to build your community, not to tell you how to be a pagan. Lots of people are doing that. In fact, I helped create that in that platform with Witch School and all of the derivatives that have come off of it. Broadcasting, we need to broadcast more. Sure, we do. We're the number one, became somewhat number one broadcasting of the internet. And there are several more that need it. So we need to work together there. But how do we get you involved with your local community? Well, there are Magdalora Magica, which is a directory site that can help you with that. Plus, you can come on the platform and find ways to finding people. Help us begin a conversation that moves us forward into the future. And how we're going to do that. Let me give you the 3 concrete ideas that you need. 1, legal support. We need to continue to, not only Lady Liberty League, but we need to continue to find legal support for pagan communities across the country in order to apply their church charters, maybe 501c3s, will dedications. Yes, you can leave wills, and other legal factors. We need to go ahead and do that. And we'll have classes and seminars available to you. 2, talk. We need more people talking more often. The narrative of the United States has fallen into this sort of fascist talk, and it's very reactionary. We need to change that for ourselves to actionary. What are we going to do to preserve ourselves? Are we going to start a food pantry in our area? Mother Grove with Byron Ballard talks about it a lot. And I know that a lot of the pagan prides collect food for their local food pantry. But do we need more of that ourselves? So building things that we can use, services. Maybe it's not food. Maybe it's healing. Maybe it's other aspects of your community that need to be worked on to make them feel whole. And the third is so that you only get that by communicating locally, finding ways to talk locally. And now the third thing, and this is the last thing that I think is crucially important. If you have an idea of what you need to do next, contact us. We can help you get it in places. We need more people acting, not waiting for permission, not getting your local leadership to join you. It's nice when you can do that. But if you have an idea that you believe in, then do it. You can change the world. And even if nobody else believes you, do it anyway. I have. I've done it repeatedly. Witch school was not accepted by the community. In fact, I was the only person who believed it was going to work. And then I talked to Don, and then he agreed, and we got our team of Lisa, and we built something that would forever change the world and take us to the stage of the Parliament of World Religions and build the largest Wiccan tradition by numbers, combined numbers in the world. We did that even though everybody thought I was crazy. I even got laughed at. So you can change the world. Wild Hunt, Jason Pitzelwaters began the Wild Hunt as a one-page blog that's been around a couple, and he changed the community as well. Now people will look at that. Witch Fox in its state changed the community. So go ahead and figure out how you want to change the community. If you don't have the resources, join our Pagan World site, and we'll see what we can do for you. This is the need for moving forward. Making sure you pay attention to legal, building more legal defenses. Yes. Lady Liberty League, and also local lawyers. The second most important thing, communicate. Start communicating more. We can help you with broadcasting. We can do other things, a platform. Even if you do it on your own, let's find ways to communicate better. We need better communication. Cleaner lines. How do we let people know when we're being attacked? So this is things like, so we need things that are more cooperative in there. Absolutely. And 3, what services are we provide? How can we help our community bring value? What are those resources? So those are what we need to do. I'm going to be I've begun work along with Reverend Don and a number of people, Lord Jason, Lady Jen, Lady Susan's Dancing Star, in Danville, Lady Renee, and we are beginning to build a process. We are trying to build a local community in Danville to act as a headquarters. We are planning to get involved politically. We plan to get that, and we're going to broadcast all of this as we're doing it. As we move forward, as we are carrying out our materials, we're going to let you know what we're doing and continue to work with you. As far as more conferences, I can have as many conferences as I have human bodies, human minds, human spirits to operate them. It's not a mechanical, and it's not even a cost situation. It is a human condition. One of the things the internet has done over the years and continues to do so is dramatically bring down the cost of doing broadcast. Now, it may increases the competition, it increases the way our voices are out there, but it's lowered the cost. My first website costed me $75 and per year, Witchcool, and it also costed me $99 a month for 1 gigabyte of information. That's right, 1 gigabyte. Today we work in terabytes, and we're soon going to work in petabytes. And the price of that has come down, and it's going to continue to come down. So we can act globally, and we can share globally. We can even do more than that. But we also can begin acting locally. And I want to help people form local councils. Back in, right after the Parliament, just like this event was from the Parliament, in 1994, we started the Pagan Leadership Conferences. And they lasted through most of the 90s in developing local community in Chicago, Pagan Leadership Council of Chicago. Eventually, we would do the Pagan Expo, Pagan Pride. A lot of things grow from that. So anything you do is a seed that you plant. What seeds do you want to plant? Today we heard about Raven's Nest with John, who wants to build something physical. A number of people have talked about building physical. How do we do that? We can talk about that. There's people who can talk about all sorts of different ways to build and finance. And with crowdfunding, such as Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, WeSpot, and all these different We funders and all these different ways, we can also fund ourselves from the crowd. We don't necessarily need to. And put out coin collection. I mean, I hate to say it, coins are going to become more valuable. The accumulation of coins, pennies, can make a great deal of that. I just read a report today. The average American family has over $30 worth of loose change in their house that they're not using. So collecting that can help you in local. We can talk about all sorts of different ideas to help you locally, but it doesn't work unless you can do something, to act. You can say, oh, I wish we would do something, but act. And if you don't know how to act, contact us. We will help you. I am not looking to have some sort of hierarchical organization, some solidarity or some sort of super unity where we're all in lockstep. That's ridiculous. What I am trying to do is get a lot of different people to work locally to be able to support nationally and be decentralized, be your own group, be in your own thing, but have the resources and the backing of national organizations to do so. That's what we need. So I need you more than ever to volunteer, to act, volunteer to be a leader, to volunteer to be part of a system that helps people. And if that is decentralized, even better. Because then they can't, that we can act. And we want to be able to help people when they get into distress. And we want to know what's happening across our world. That's our future. Information, cooperation, and fortifying our positions so that we can continue to act. I want to thank you. Pagan World will continue out there. And if you haven't seen all the videos, they're all going to be up there available for you to see. You can see these remarkable leaders, these remarkable new people, these remarkable cutting-edge thinkers talk about how we can make a better community. And that's going to remain. And we're going to continue this with forums, blogs, more broadcasts, and other photos. We have photos that are going to be put up. We have videos to put up. We can help you find what you need. We can get you some of the resources you need to begin. But it cannot work if you're not the human agent or you're in human agencies that are working. I'm calling on the gods and the goddesses. Hecate has been brought here to do so and to encourage this. So in my final thought, and I ask my own divine beings, is today, right now, even as we speak, Pluto has gone direct into Aquarius. And for those of you who are magical in astrology and know it will continue to be direct for over 20 years, about 20 years, knows this is a revolutionary sign where we can move outward and better. That we time for us to take action. Everything's shifting, everything's changing. So how can we build better? And if this is time you want to get off the grid, let's talk about that. If you want land to grow food, let's talk about that. Let's talk about everything we want. And then you can decide for yourself what you want to be involved in. Because if we all take actions, as Reverend Don talks about the Abbey Willow Project, and we heard about, Pagan Pride. These are local events that have great significance internationally. So please volunteer to be a leader, to be a project manager, to just do something, to be an actor, to be an activist. I don't care what title you give it. And also, and if you can't do that, be the support for someone else's ideas. Let pagan dreams be pagan dreams. That's right. Pagan dreams need to be bigger. They need to be broader. What do we want for our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren? Some of you already have grandchildren. What are these new hereditaries going to inherit? That's right. I said new hereditaries. We're heading. People who are born of witches and pagans and these faiths. We're getting multi-generational. And another generation from now, we will definitely be multi-generational. And 2 generations from now, the generation being born, Generation B, in 2025 begins, will be digitally native and also never be in a world without AI. What are we going to teach them for us? What are we going to do? You heard education is important. We have all these communication tools. We have all these resources. Let's share them. Let's think about it. And I want to finally close with this. I want to thank you all for being here at the Pagan World Congress that have attended. I want to thank everybody who's going to watch these videos here in the future. And I want to thank everybody who is going to think about the future and help us use this platform to get the resources that we all need. I'm not asking you to come to the platform to follow what I want to do, because what I want to do is getting you all to act in your own area and make sure that people know it. And I promise you, my promise is as the pagan, that I will do everything in my power, anything that's within my ability, which is broad, to help you understand what you want to do, to get you to do things, and find ways to get you resources the best we can. I promise you that if you reveal your dreams and come forward, we can help you build it. Because when you build your dreams, you build the dreams for everybody else around you. I want you to be blessed. I want you to be prosperous. And I want you to thrive. Now, in this next positioning of transformation that is happening into our world, I definitely believe in you. I love the community. I love you guys so much. And I love what we do. We can help the world. But first, we have to help ourselves. Dream big, dream proud, and let us know how we can help you. This is Ed Hubbard, also known as Ed the Pagan, signing off from Pagan World. Thank you for attending, and thank you for being here.